Before we dive into the main topic, please take a moment to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this explainer, and leave a comment to support the channel. Your engagement truly helps. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to talk about a word you hear everywhere these days, self-awareness. But look, this isn't just some buzzword for your wellness feed. It is one of the most fundamental, rock-solid skills for navigating your life with, actual intention and clarity.
This idea, it's been around for centuries, for a very good reason. It points to this incredible truth that our perception literally creates our reality. But that brings up a really important question, right? What if the lens we're all looking through, our own perception of ourselves, is kind of smudged and we don't even know it? If I asked you that question right now, hey, do you know yourself? You'd probably say, yeah, of course. I mean, I know I would. It feels like the most obvious thing in the world, doesn't it? But what's so fascinating is that the research tells a totally different and way more interesting story. It suggests our self-knowledge might not be nearly as sharp as we think it is. And this brings us to this really interesting paradox of the human mind, this widespread illusion that we know ourselves. I mean, think about it. We are the main character in our own movie. We live inside our own heads 24/7, and yet we can still completely miss what's really going on in there.
Just let that sink in for a second. The vast majority of us think we're self-aware, but we're actually overestimating it. And what that does is it creates these massive blind spots. It's kind of like trying to merge onto a busy highway without checking your mirrors. Sure, you can see the road ahead just fine, but you're completely oblivious to what's happening right beside you and behind you. Operating without self-awareness isn't just risky. It pretty much guarantees you're going to collide with confusion or missed opportunities or wake up one day in a life that just doesn't feel like your own. So, if it's not just thinking about yourself all the time, what is true self-awareness? Let's be super clear here. This is not about endless navel gazing or psychoanalyzing your every single move. No, no. It's a practical, powerful skill. So let's actually build a definition that we can use. But here's the thing, this ability isn't one-dimensional. To really get it, we need to see that it's actually split into two critical, complementary parts. And you really can't have one without the other if you want the full picture. So first up, you've got the inner mirror. This is your internal self-awareness. It's all about understanding the landscape inside you, your values, your passions, what triggers your emotions. Then you have the window to the world. This is your external self-awareness. This is about understanding how you show up to other people. Now, true, deep self-awareness, that's the sweet spot, the dynamic balance between the two. Too much focus on that mirror and you risk becoming totally self-absorbed. But too much focus on the window and you can become a people pleaser, completely losing your own sense of self in the process. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we build this skill, especially when the world is constantly pulling for our attention? Well, it's not as abstract as it sounds. We've actually boiled down the key practices into three powerful, super actionable keys to unlock a clearer view of yourself. These three keys right here, they form a practical toolkit for starting this journey. And honestly, they're simpler than you might think. So let's break down that first one because it involves this really subtle but surprisingly powerful shift in the questions we ask ourselves. Here's the deal. Why questions can totally trap us. When something goes wrong and we ask, why am I so anxious? Or why did I do that again? We often just spiral into self-criticism, right? Our brains just aren't good at answering those questions without a whole lot of judgment. But what questions? They're different. They're forward-looking, they're objective. So instead of, why am I so anxious? Try, what is the situation that's triggering this feeling? Instead of, why am I like this? Ask, what can I do differently next time? See, what questions open doors to curiosity and solutions instead of building up these walls of blame? All right, the second key is all about becoming a gentle, curious observer of your own mind. And the key word there is gentle. It's not about fixing anything or forcing yourself to feel a certain way. Think of it like you're sitting on the bank of a river. Your thoughts and your feelings, they're just the water flowing by. You don't have to jump in and get swept away by them. You can just watch them pass with a sense of detached curiosity. That right there is mindful observation. This simple habit is unbelievably powerful for breaking that spell of autopilot that we all live under. That quick little pause, it yanks you right back into the present moment. And the present moment is the only place self awareness actually exists. Now, once you get a little better at looking inward with curiosity, the third key involves courageously looking outward to get an even clearer picture. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. We can't see the back of our own heads. We all have blind spots. And sometimes the people we trust in our lives are the clearest and kindest mirrors we could ever ask for. Asking someone you respect, hey, what's one thing you think I could do to be a better leader? Or, how did my comment in that meeting actually land with you? I know, it requires vulnerability, but it is one of the fastest shortcuts to shining a light on the parts of ourselves we just can't see alone. And this is where we see the real power of all this work. Cultivating self-awareness isn't just some private, internal exercise you do. It fundamentally changes how you interact with the world. It creates this powerful ripple effect that touches every single aspect of your life. When you know yourself, your career choices, your life decisions, they become so much clearer because they're anchored to your actual values, not what someone else expects of you. You develop emotional intelligence. You learn to notice anger or anxiety when it's just a little spark before it becomes this out of control fire. Your relationships transform because you can communicate what you need clearly and you can listen to others with genuine empathy. And maybe most importantly, you become more resilient. You can face setbacks and failures without letting them completely shatter your sense of self-worth. You show up differently, with more calm, more confidence, and a whole lot more compassion. So, the ultimate takeaway here is this. Self-awareness isn't some destination you arrive at. It's not about finding a final answer or fixing yourself into some perfect version. It's an ongoing practice of just staying curious. It's about choosing to consciously participate in your own unfolding story, one moment, one choice, one breath at a time. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, and leave a comment to support the channel.